Chapter 6. A Savior in the Shadows. I exchanged a blank look. Mr. George refused to face me. My mind didn't take at least a word from his mouth. It was like a bedtime story, but wrong timing. Occults was humans' very great imagination. It was not true in the world. I don't understand, I covered my face. What you don't understand, he came to me. What this has to do with me? You're a good story spinner. I won't and don't believe any single word, but my mind struggled with me, refusing to be convinced. It was like I got a clue to my strange dreams which I had been ignoring. This has everything to do with you, Safi. You are the only pure blood left, the possessor of water, he said with a proud. How can one believe this? I'm not a 2-year-old girl to trust this nonsense. Besides, already I've heard very good stories in my childhood. I started to accuse him. Mr. George looked around the room, searching for something. The doctor's room was larger. I took my time examining the room, only truly absorbing its details half an hour after our arrival, as Mr. George's words continued to linger in my mind. Drawn to the window, I moved closer and gazed outside, captivated by the serene beauty of the world beyond. How could he say that I didn't belong to such a vibrant and wonderful place? Safi, Mr. George bellowed from behind. I turned instantly to see him with a knife in his right hand. My face filled with horror. Now you got to believe me. You are so hard. He stepped towards me. Without any idea, he sliced the wrist. Oh, God, I cried out in pain as if it were my own instead of him. What have you done? I ran to him. He placed the blood-dripping knife in the nearby table. Blood painted the old wooden table, and he walked towards the window, viewed the pot of plant and shouted, "Watch it!" I went there quickly. He plucked a leaf from there and kept it on his sliced wrist. Then something extraordinary happened. The wound seemed to drain the life out of the leaf, leaving it shriveled and dry. He held his now healed wrist in front of me. "Blow the leaf, Saf," he urged. I blew on the leaf, and it floated away effortlessly, disappearing into the air. To my amazement, there was no trace of the wound. I grabbed his hand and examined it closely, my curiosity piqued. I rubbed his wrist, but all I felt was normal human skin. I looked up at him with wide, bewildered eyes, searching for an explanation. How could this happen? I asked him unbelievably. I'm the half-possessor of Gadina. I can transform and have the ability to heal, but I can't control greens entirely, he said with a shrug. Slowly, ever so slowly, he began to morph. His hands elongated, his legs reshaped, his body contorted, and finally, standing before me was a magnificent bird. It had a long, elegant beak, shimmering feathers, and a robust green body. I stared at it, utterly speechless, my mouth hanging open in awe. The creature was breathtaking, far more mesmerizing than any phoenix I'd ever imagined. Then, just as gradually, the bird shrank and shifted back into Mr. George's human form. My mind scrambled for anything to ask, but no words came. My thoughts evaporated like mist, and a veil of nothingness seemed to cloud my vision. Overwhelmed, I felt my knees buckle as everything around me faded to black. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a cozy bed in a small, air-conditioned room. The soft hum of the AC filled the silence, and I instinctively snuggled deeper under the blanket. As I stirred, someone leaned into my field of vision. It was Mr. George. Startled, I sat upright, my heart racing. Calm down," he said gently, caressing my hand to reassure me. Is it true, then?" I asked, my voice trembling, pure terror flickering in my eyes. "Unfortunately, yes," he replied, his lips pressed into a firm line. I stared at him, feeling an unbearable weight on my chest. Then, I'm a monster too, I whispered, struggling to accept the enormity of it all. He chuckled softly and tilted his head. Did I look like a monster to you when I transformed? Many have said that my transformation is quite beautiful, he said with a playful raise of his eyebrows. Yeah. One can say that, but no bird in this world is as large as that 1 inch. I pointed him and at the place where he transformed a little while ago. Well, it isn't a bird, we call it as a viscon, has the ability to carry tons of load 'cause of a strong beak, he said majestically. What was I then? I asked, looking at my hands. We are not sure yet. Your father is a Tuwa and mother is a Coventina. As your name suggests, you will become Coventina. We will figure it out only after your rebirth. He held my hand. What about Cat? Thought of Cat is turning into something sucked the life out of me. She will become Gadina since we both are Gadanans. He mentioned his dead wife. She knew all this, wondering how she had reacted. No, not yet. Small sadness erupted from him. Oh, that's why you worried when you heard about her date. I saw some clearance. He nodded. Do you know Ms. Rose? How do you know her? He asked with a complete surprise. Well, she said that Kris is not our kind and I have to stay away from him. If she saw me with him again, she said she'll expel me, I said thinking about her words again. Mr. George looked like he got a blow at his head. What? I came to a realization. I slapped my mouth for letting it out. Safrine, you shouldn't fall for guys. Anger got me. It is not guys, it is a guy, I corrected him. But about your destiny, he sat upright. Not my destiny, it's yours. I can't betray him and can't think of my life without Kris, which was true. You have responsibilities, Saf. Our world, Orizina, and this world depend on you. Don't be selfish. He got more serious on me than Cat's news. Oh. Are you saying I'm being selfish? What you said before there, I was raised to be a weapon. I'd have been dead long before if I'm not the left out pure blood. Who is selfish here? I nearly shouted at him. It's not like that, Safi. You are like a mother to all of them there. Seriousness grew in his voice. I kept silent. Max accompanied me to the home. Cat was asleep when we reached home. At first, I refused to go home, but Mr. George convinced me that he would allow me to stay with my Nana the next whole day. And I needed some time to think about all the shucks said by Mr. George. Max, pick me sharply at 6 in the morning. I turned to see the clock, it struck 1. But it was already 1. You need some sleep, he said calmly. It's not the sleep I need now. I want my Nana to get better. My eyes water filled when I said that. I can understand. Good night, miss, he said, smiling warmly. He turned, making his way towards the garden. I stood there, near the window, still confused, watching him. He jogged for a few steps, then gradually sped up, moving faster and faster. Suddenly, his form began to change, shifting into something far larger. In an instant, he was no longer the man I knew but had transformed into a massive shape, similar to what had happened to Uncle. What the hell? I muttered to myself, utterly bewildered. This didn't look like a bird at all. What other shocking revelations were hidden beneath the surface? With everything and every word swirling around in my thoughts, I had missed asking Uncle the other questions that plagued my mind, my tongue betraying me in the moment. Maybe I'll ask him later, I thought, though I didn't know when I finally drifted off to sleep. The sharp buzz of the alarm jolted me awake at 5:30 a.m. I quickly got ready, moving as fast as I could. As I walked past Kat's room, I instinctively stopped and quietly clicked open her door. She was fast asleep, her face peaceful and carefree, as if nothing in the world could trouble her. I moved toward her desk, where I spotted a note sitting neatly on the table. I won't say, "Dear Safi, why you didn't come to me and not bothered to at least phone a call. Where you went. I waited for you till 11:00 in the party. With anger. Cat. I hoped you'd be home by 12, but now it's 12:00. I'm going to bed." I smiled at her last words and wrote a reply. "Dear Cat. I don't want to worry you. I'm going now. Explain to you later. Bye. With love, Saf." I entered the kitchen and found Max waiting for me, holding an apple in his hand. Though I knew deep down that he would never hurt me, a small, inexplicable fear kept me from getting too close. But I knew with certainty, that he would never hurt me. Not now, not ever. I took another bite of the apple, the crispness of it grounding me in the moment as I gathered my thoughts. "Max," I began again, catching his full attention. "Yes, Safi," he replied almost immediately, his voice calm and steady. He had grown so accustomed to hearing my name, almost as if it had become second nature to him. "What?" I stopped, abruptly thinking it might sound rude. Clearing my throat said, "Who are you?" "Your servant." He threw away the words easily. "What do you mean by my servant?" I asked. "It means that I'm servant, but only to you," he added that specifically. "For others," I raised my eyebrow. "I don't think so," he shrugged. But it felt that he was more than a servant. "I'm not asking that. Where do you live?" "Here." He looked around. "Where is your home exactly? I was not going to leave this." "The place where we both are standing right now." His finger pointed the house. "Oh, I thought you were living down the street or near there." I got surprised. Sorry to say this, but I'm living here too." He gave me an apologetic smile. "Please don't apologize. It was my blunder." "Where do you sleep?" "I didn't see you in here at night," which was true. "I never sleep at night. I guard the house." He didn't meet my eyes. "When will you sleep then?" I was wondering. "Well, in the day after little works, but sometimes never," he chuckled. "Why?" I got amazed. "My duty," he said. "Right. I'm confused more than you think." "Okay. I'm asking you straight away. Will you answer me those honestly and truly?" I got serious. "Yes, miss." He bowed a little. Yesterday I saw you changed." Something happened. You changed into something big," I said, gesturing widely with my hands, only to accidentally drop the apple. Max calmly walked over to where it had fallen, picked it up, and rinsed it under the tap. "Here," he said, handing it back to me with a gentle smile. "But," I opened my mouth to speak, he interrupted. "Yes, I'm different like you, but a werewolf. Your protector and your—" His voice trailed off, and I saw horror flicker in his eyes. He turned away quickly. "It's time. Let's move," he said, his tone final, and he hurried toward the car without waiting for a reply. I lifted my hand, ready to toss the apple away, but when our eyes met, I hesitated. Instead, I took another bite. At the hospital, Mr. George was already waiting for us. My nanny was still resting, and George quickly asked Max to stay with me before he left. I took a seat in the corridor outside the room, while Max stood beside me. A few nurses passed by, their footsteps echoing down the quiet hallway. The hospital was so silent that even my own breath seemed to fill the air, every sound amplified in the stillness. "Maximum," I called him. "Yes, miss." He stood erect. "Call me Safi and please sit down." I offered the seat next to me. "But Saf, I mustn't sit." He twisted uneasily. Why? I asked him, muddled. Please. I can't, he said. I insist, and without any other word he sat beside me. How is your life? I started softly. He gave me the verklempt look. What happened? I asked uncomfortably. Life. Well. It has no meaning. Like a desert, full of dryness. But, his face changed lightly, except for a little flower of sweetness, his eyes twinkled. Who is that girl? I asked, my voice warm with curiosity. How did you know that? He asked, his surprise evident. Oh, come on, I said with a small smile. 4 centuries, the words might have changed, but the meaning remains the same. Girls are the only greenery in a man's dry life. Yes, you are correct, he said, his face lighting up with a cheerful expression. Who is she? I pressed, my interest growing stronger. It doesn't matter. No use anyway, she has been out of my bounds already and I'm not worth her, he said, his voice tinged with hurt. You are wrong, Maximum. If your love is true, she will definitely come to you, no matter whatever, wherever or whoever you are, I replied, trying to reassure him. I noticed an uneasiness in his eyes, as if my words had stirred something deeper within him. Why are you working as a servant? It struck me suddenly. Isn't it obvious if an unknown boy suddenly sticks to a well-known family without any clear position? He asked, his tone thoughtful. Yeah. But you could have introduced yourself as a distant relation, I suggested. Many of them are humans, and they know Mr. George's relations very well. What would they think if a boy suddenly gets into the family as a cousin? His point was valid, and I couldn't argue with that logic. Oh. What will others think if a handsome guy works in a house with 2 young girls? I pointed out, my logic still standing strong. So, you think that I'm handsome? He asked cheerfully, a playful smile spreading across his face. I blushed, feeling the warmth rise in my cheeks. Seeing my face turn pink, he quickly changed the topic. Only a few of them know the whereabouts of our world, and above all, I'm exactly a servant to you, he said, bowing slightly. But why do I need a servant? I wondered aloud, still trying to piece everything together. To keep you safe. Vampires can smell you easily. My strong smell will cover up yours and we can still disguise that you are dead. He nearly swallowed the last words. What about when I'll be in school? There. One of my pack members is guarding you, but hereafter I'll be with you at school. And what about now? I mean, why aren't you with me earlier? Since your birth I've been with you. You never knew. They take me after you to cover you when you were a child, and after that I grew near to you without your knowledge. Since you got matured, we thought it'd be safe to send one of my pack members to your school. And now, you know everything. I can be with you as a protector forever.